Hello. Today we are going to take a look at spreadsheet formatting. You will learn how to format a header, use a simple formula, copy data, classify cell data, apply font styles, adjust column and row size, wrap text, indent cell data, format values, and add a border. First, let's save our spreadsheet. We're going to go to the Office button just like you do in Word and go to Save As. And of course you guys would need to make sure that you find your H drive. And in your Excel folder you would need to save this as Spreadsheet Formatting if you were doing this. And you see that on our title bar it changed from Book 1 to Spreadsheet Formatting because it's always going to put what you've saved the file name as in the title bar. It will replace Book 1. Alright, next we need to create a header as we always did in Microsoft Word. And just like in Microsoft Word, you would need to go to the Insert tab and then all the way over to the Text group and then click on Header and Footer. Now the header and footer is a little bit different in Excel than it is in Word. To create a header in Excel, you have 3 spaces at the top. In the left space, you want to type in your name. In the center space, you would key in the date, or if you want to use the shortcut that I've shown you, you can go up here to the header and footer elements group on the design ribbon and just click on current date. Now when you click on current date, it's going to put in an ampersand and then the word date in brackets. But watch what happens when you click over here to the right box and then it changes to the current date. Alright, in the right box we want the file name. And instead of having to type in spreadsheet formatting again, all we need to do is come back up here to where we clicked on current date, and a couple of buttons over you'll see file name. And again, it's going to put in that ampersand and then the word file in brackets, but once you click off of that, it will change it to the actual file name. And that is your header. Now you see that our spreadsheet looks a little different now since we've put in our header, and that's just because whenever you put in your header it just makes it a little smaller. It shows you 2 pages instead of just the 1, but we can fix that by going down here to the view buttons and choosing normal, and then it takes you back to normal view, which means that you won't be able to see the header anymore. Now in addition, you will see a vertical dotted line in between columns I and J. This vertical line doesn't actually print when you print out your spreadsheet. It just shows you where you're going to go from your first page to your second page. So columns A through I would be your first page, and then J through whatever would be your second page. But you can just ignore that. If it bothers you, you can zoom in using your zoom slider button so that you can see what you're doing better, and also you won't have that vertical line right in the middle of what you're doing. Alright, let's key in a title for our spreadsheet. We're going to click in cell A1 and we're simply in all caps going to type the word invoice. And once you have typed in your information, you can either press the tab key or you could have hit the enter key, and that would have entered that title into that particular cell. Now we're going to go back and we want to bold the word invoice, and to do that we just simply click on the cell to highlight it, go to your home ribbon just like you would in Word, and click bold. Alright, now we're going to enter some column headings, and we want these to also be bold, but we'll do that after we type them. And our column headings are going to go in row 3. So starting in cell A3, I'm going to type in, and we don't want these in all caps, so I'm going to turn off the caps lock, item number, And then I can press the tab key, and that's going to take me over to cell B3, where I'm going to type quantity. Then I'm going to press tab to go to C3. I will type unit. In cell D3, we want description. Notice how whenever I type description, it's a little bit longer than the actual column width. But that's okay. We're going to ignore that for now and just go over to cell E3, where we're going to type unit price. And then in F3, we type in amount. And now I'm going to press enter, and I need to go back and make my column headings bold. Now, if you want to make more than one cell bold or italicized, or you want to change the color or something, all you have to do is select the first cell in that range of cells. Remember, a cell range is just a group of cells. We're going to start with the first cell, which is A3. Click on it and then just drag to the right until cell A3 or F3 rather is selected. Now I have that range of cells selected, so I can go up to my home tab and I'm going to click the B for bold. And again, just ignore the fact that description is a little bit too wide for the column. We'll go back and fix that in a little while. As a matter of fact, we'll fix it right now. Alright, so to adjust column widths, it's very simple. One way to do it is to move your mouse in between the two columns that need to be adjusted. So in between column D and E, I'll put my mouse on the border. When my mouse becomes a double-headed arrow, I'm going to click and hold my mouse. And notice how the little width box comes up at the top and shows you the exact width of the column. And if I want to make it larger, I'm going to drag it to the right. And when I get it to what I think would be good, I will release my mouse button. And if I got it a little too wide, I can click and hold my mouse button again over that border and then drag it back to the left. A really good way to adjust column widths, if you don't have a specific width that you're trying to go, is to simply move your mouse over the border in between those two columns and double click when your mouse becomes a double-headed arrow. And what will happen is it will make it just the perfect width for the longest text that's in that column, or the longest number, or whatever is in that column. So you can go through and double click on each one, and then it will make it just big enough, and see it actually increase the column width of unit price. So that's how you adjust column widths. You can either click on the border line at the top in between the two letters of the borders of the columns, click and drag to the right or to the left, depending on whether you want to make it larger or smaller, or you can double click. There are other ways, as there's always numerous ways to do everything in Microsoft Office, but those are just two very simple ways to adjust column width. Alright, this concludes the first part of this lesson. In the second part of the lesson, you will have more information typed in, and we will start looking at centering data within cells, and we'll look at the merge and center button and some other things.